little bit Steve from that old Yorkshire geek, and a very, very Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Welcome to this special edition of Magnificent Mondays on the Wednesday, on the special Christmas Day edition, because we're doing a James Bond film, and in the UK, for some reason, I don't know why, for a lot of years, it were tradition for usually the ITV channel to show a James Bond film on Christmas Day. They don't seem to do it anymore, but for a lot of years it was a tradition. So I thought, I'm going to do it as well. I did it last year. We went through, we had a double bill. We had The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker, which are my two favourite James Bond films. I love those films. But this week, this year, should I say, we're doing Dr. No. We're starting at the beginning. Dr. No, the very first James Bond movie. Not the first time James Bond had appeared in, apart from books. It appeared in a TV version of Casino Royale, where it was a CIA agent called Jimmy Bond. And I think it also appeared on South African radio with Bob Holness, who would go on to become famous in the UK as a game show host, as James Bond. But Dr. No, the initial movie, and by the way, sorry about the background there, you can't see it for me. I will remove myself just to wish you a Merry Christmas. Right, I'm back now. That's the town hall, by the way, that you saw in my hometown. If you know what it is, if you can recognise it, fair enough. Right, so Dr. No from 1962, the very first James Bond movie, produced by Harry Saltzman and Albert R. Quote, Cubby Broccoli, directed by Terence Young. What happened was, Cubby Broccoli wanted to direct a James Bond film. He loved the books, and he wanted to not direct, he wanted to produce a James Bond film. And his producing partner at the time was Irving Allen. I think the fella who was going to do the stuff like Earthquake and them disaster movies. I think it was the same fella. I could be wrong. But he didn't want to do it. So he was looking around for the rights, and he found out that a chap called Harry Saltzman had the rights. He'd bought the rights to Dr. No for 50,000, I don't know if pounds or dollars, I can't remember. But 50,000 whatevers, which were a lot of money back then. Still is now. I wish I had £50,000, but never mind. And it was had bought it 50,000 whatevers for 6 months, for the rights for 6 months, and it were almost up. And then Cubby Broccoli swooped in, and he wanted to buy Saltzman's rights thing. I want to buy them off him, so that Cubby Broccoli would have the rights. But Saltzman says, no, I want to become your partner. And so they became partners for the next 15 years until 1977. Anyway, so they got the film going. They brought on Terence Young to direct it. A lot of people say Terence Young is James Bond. He doesn't look much like James Bond to me, but never mind. Maybe he's... Oh, no, he isn't. He's not how Ian Fleming describes James Bond either. He looks more like Ian Fleming than James Bond to me, but anyway, that's by the by. Obviously, stars Sean Connery, Ursula Andress, Joseph Wiseman as the titular Dr. No, Jack Lord, Steve McGarrett from Hawaii Five-0 as Felix Leiter, and a few others. Eunice Gayson, Bernard Lee, no Desmond Llewellyn until the next film. But Q is in it, but don't call him Q, they call him Armourer. But they do call him by his name, Major Boothroyd. But anyway, it had a budget of $1.1 million, which they say it's a low-budget film. But now, $1.1 million in 2024 money is, hang on, I've got it on my notes. I've got notes today. Is nearly £24.5 million pounds. Sorry, not dollars. What it? Oh, $1.1 million. All right. I've put pounds. Oh, I thought it were in pounds because technically it's a British film, isn't it? So I've got that wrong for a start. Never mind. Ignore me. At a budget of $1.1 million, which were £392,022, and it made loads of money at the box office. Anyway, right, so we'll get on with it, shall we? And everybody's seen the James Bond films, aren't they? Surely there'll be some people that haven't, but they're in the minority. Shirley, don't call me Shirley. But anyway, so we're going to go through Doctor No, try and remember the stuff I've learned about it. Oh, hang on. Got it on DVD, and I've also, crikey, got this cool Blu-ray box set, which has some, nice. I think it's got the special features that are on here. I think. I don't think it's got all of the special features. No, it hasn't. It hasn't got all the special features on the Blu-ray that it has on the bloody DVD. Unbelievable. But obviously it's in HD. But these DVDs that they brought out for the James Bond films were amazing. I think right up until, I think they brought them out the same sort of packaging and styling, and they all line up. If you put them all edge on, the pattern, you can see the pattern there. It does the 007 logo if you got them all, in the correct order. Right up until I think Die Another Day. The last Pierce Brosnan one. So there we go. And I've got them all. They're all over there somewhere. On my shelves. Right, so we'll go through this film. Obviously, we're not just going to watch the film, we'll go through it in a series of stills, play the odd snippet, etc. And I'll try and remember what information I have gleaned about it. Probably forget everything. So, right. But don't forget, before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video, drop a comment, join us in the live chat. If you're a member, I've got to do the live chats as members only because of naughty people that come in and disrupt the chat. For some reason they're targeting me. Maybe it's just because I'm old. I'm an older YouTuber, so maybe they think I'm fair game. I don't know, but anyway. Where were we? Do all that stuff. Explore the description for links for me, them, Facebook, X and Instagram, merch, my Patreon, books, stuff like that. That's links for those are all in the description. And yes, I forgot. I'm going to have a beer because it's Christmas. Merry Christmas. I'm having a Star Trek IPA. I got 2 of these for Christmas. I got one off a friend, Marie, and one off me nephew. I can't remember if it was my nephew Jamie or my nephew Stephen. I can't remember. I think it was Jamie. But I got one, so I've got 2 of these to be going at. And I've never had an IPA before, but they came in a cool Star Trek beer with the Star Trek glass. Look, there's the logo. I know it's nothing to do with James Bond, but never mind. So I'm going to pour this out. Bear with me. Hang on, so I'll do it close to the microphone so you can hear it. Is it all going to fit in? Bet it don't. Right. I've never had an IPA before. India Pale Ale, isn't it, IPA? I'm like a bitter and lager fan. Right. Oh, no, I've squashed my can. I didn't mean to. Unsquash it, you silly bug. I'm going to save it. Wash it out and save it. Oh, I've buggered it up now. Luckily, I've got another one. Never mind. Right, so off we go. I make myself teachy tiny and all that stuff. Which one is it? That one. And I've got to get rid of them. There we go. Right, so I will add this to the screen. We'll go full screen. Over there. And off we go. Right, so we begin. By the way, we're live on YouTube. I forgot to mention. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Rumble. Yes, we are. And we're live on Twitch. Yes, we are. Right. Anyway, and again, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you've had a lovely day. I have. So there we go. Right. By the way, doing this again, another James Bond film on New Year's Day. So I just thought I'd warn you. We're doing the next one, From Russia with Love. Anyway, right, off we go. There's good old Leo, because Bond is an MGM property. And United Artists, and for some reason the Blu-ray set is distributed by 20th Century Fox. Who's got the rights to it? I have no idea. But anyway, now it's owned by Amazon, isn't it? Right, off we go. And I think it just comes on. There we go. Here we get the famous. It's the first time we see this. There you go, Harry Saltzman and Broccoli. The famous gun barrel emerges, but it does it with a weird sound. We're used to seeing it now. It comes dun 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 dun. But now it does it for this first one, because obviously it's all experimental at the moment, isn't it? It does this. There we go. And then it goes into the fame. Or does it? I think it does. Hang on, I'm going to find out. Yes, it does. I won't play it too much, I'll get into trouble. A lot of people think that's Sean Connery. It isn't. It's Bob Simmons, the stunt coordinator for a lot of James Bond films. We don't see Sean Connery in the gun barrel opening until Thunderball in 4 films' time. We've got From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, and then Thunderball. Yeah, so Thunderball's the 4th film. We don't see Sean Connery until then. I'm sure I remember somewhere that they had trouble getting Sean Connery to do it right, which is maybe why they got Bob Simmons to do it, the stuntman. When you watch Sean Connery do it, he's waving about. He's like, he's not steady. But anyway, maybe he just couldn't do it properly. But anyway, that's Bob Simmons. Right, we're off. Shush. Right, we begin. Down it goes. Oh, and we're straight into the opening credits. From the second one, and this is the only one that doesn't have a cold open. Usually, the white circle goes down into the corner or somewhere, or just expands out, and we get like the intro, don't we, to the Bond film, and then they do the credits. This one just does the credits straight away. Designed by Maurice Binder, like a lot of them were up to Pierce Brosnan coming on board. But it's quite simple. It's very Saul Bassy, not Shirley Bassey, Saul Bass-esque. Similar to it kind of reminds me of the opening titles a bit for Psycho. It's that sort of stylised thing. But anyway, off we go. There we go. So there you go. Ian Fleming's Dr. No, which was actually the 6th book in the series that he'd written. Casino Royale were the first, Dr. No were the 6th. And it actually came after Live and Let Die, which has a connection with this. We will get to that. Right, so anyway, so there we go. Here's the credits. We'll get there. The lovely Ursula Andress. It'll say Sean Connery somewhere. There we go. Starring Sean Connery, and they put 007 next to his name. We'll skip through. We know who's going to be in it. I will introduce them. There we see people dancing. Music for this film by Monty Norman. Monty Norman that composed the Bond theme, the famous James Bond theme. John Barry orchestrated it, and he wrote his own Bond theme, which I think, is it called 007 theme, something like that. It's not called the James Bond theme, which we hear in the movies that he scored. And I'm blanking on how it goes now. But anyway. There you go. Main title designed by Maurice Binder. It's famous for doing scantily clad ladies, in silhouette and stuff like that, isn't it? Anyway, right. And then we go into Three Blind Mice, done in a calypso style, I suppose. Let's have a quick listen. There we go. Apparently, based on the novel by Ian Fleming, apparently he didn't like it. What were his words? I've got notes, I'll tell you, because I highlighted it. Oh, pardon me. After viewing this movie, James Bond creator Ian Fleming reportedly described it as being dreadful, simply dreadful. But anyway, there we go. That's Ian Fleming, isn't it? I imagine he didn't like a lot of the Bond films. But anyway. And there you go. Screenplay by Richard Maybaum, Johanna Harwood, and Barclay Mather. I think originally... I forgot his bloody name now. They had another writer on originally, and he left. I can't remember what his name was. Let's have a look in production. It'll say here somewhere, won't it? Wolf Mankiewicz. I was going to say Tom Mankiewicz. Is he related to him? I don't know, because I think he's done Bond films as Tom Mankiewicz. Is he related to him? I want to see. Doesn't say. No, maybe not. But he was gonna write the script for it, and then had the falling out and wanted his name taken off it. So anyway, shush. Right. So off we go. There you go. Directed by Terence Young. Now we begin. We see these three blind men. We're in Kingston, Jamaica, I do believe. Apparently this was the first movie filmed in Jamaica. And just 2 months before the film came out, Jamaica would gain its independence from the United Kingdom. But at the time, it was technically a British colony. Up the empire. Anyway, so here they are, these three blind, in quotes, men, tottering down the street, and the beggars as well. There you go, because you see he's holding his cup. But then we cut to the club. You see the club that they're at. There we go. The Queen's Club, private members only. It must be in Braille because he has a feel. They're not blind. They're bad guys. Right, so here we're introduced to 4 men that we're going to see some of them quite a bit in the film, but not all of them. This is Commander Strangways. For some reason I always think it's Strangeways. That's the prison in Manchester, but Strangways, who was played by, I'll tell you, Strangways, where are you? Come on, you can't be that far down the list, bloody hell. Where the hell is he? Where is he? Bloody nod. Has he got a credit? What's his information? Oh, there we go. It says here Professor John Strangways, but they call him Commander Strangways in this film. Anyway, played by Tim Moxon, who was a friend of Terence Young. He was actually a pilot in Jamaica who did like charter flights and crop dusting. But he knew Terence Young from when he lived in London because he's British. And he did a bit of acting. So he knew Terence Young. So when Terence Young came to Jamaica, see they got together and he says, "You got a part of me in your film?" "Yeah, I have." "Right." So there we go. That's Professor Dent. Is a baddie. Spoilers. Can't remember the names of the others. Hang on. That's Playdell Smith. I think he's like the head of Government House. He's like a government official. And that's General Potter, who's retired to Jamaica. Anyway, obviously they're playing, I don't know, gin rummy or whatever. But Strangways has got to leave because he's part of the British Secret Service and he's got to radio in. There we go. So he's got to break off, at the same time every day to go and report in. So off he goes. He's heading out. They're carrying on. And there goes Professor Dent. It is Dent, isn't it? I'm going to have to check. Yes, Professor Dent is eyeing him suspiciously. That's to give us a clue that, all is not well with him. Anyway, he's coming out to his car, and as we'll see, he gives some money to these blind men. Look, "Oh, bless you, master," he says. But then, hang on, Pete's sake, would he skip on this? But then, pew, the shooting, pew, pew, looked like he was shooting the ground, but never mind. They kill him. There we go. Carry on shooting him. So obviously they're not blind unless they're just really good. Maybe they're like Daredevil. Who knows? Anyway, then another car appears. And they shove him in the back and drive off. And they head over to Strangways' house. Because he's got his letterbox there, look. They go over to his house. And that's not going to fool anybody, is it? But anyway, so she opens up there, the radio equipment. This is Strangways' assistant, who... I can't remember. Hang on, I forgot it in my notes. Don't think I put it in my notes. No, I didn't. I thought I'd remember it. I thought, I won't put that in my notes, I'll remember that. And I've bloody forgotten already. Right, so Strangways' assistant. Is she there? Professor John Strangways. Oh, by the way, loads of the cast of this, loads of the actors had the voices dubbed over. Strangways did. It was dubbed over by an actor called Robert Rieti, or Rieti, I don't know how to pronounce it. I didn't even know that till just now. Loads of them have been overdubbed. Don't know why. Anyway, what's she called? I can't remember. Oh, it's not even bloody saying it here. There we go. No, that's Professor Dent's secretary. Unbelievable. Can't remember her name. I do apologise. But anyway, this is her house that they're going to. Filmed in her house. So they give her a part in the film. But I can't remember a blooming name. It's her. She's listed as Mary. I don't think anybody ever says her name, but Dolores Keita, so that's her name. It's her house, so they give her a part in the film. Luckily, she's pretty as well, which is always good for a Bond film. Anyway, there she is. She's checking in with the MI, whatever, the British intelligence. It depends what version you're watching. We'll see on this. I'm sure on the DVD version I've got, later on, Bernard Lee, who plays M, says he calls it MI7. But on the subtitles on this, it says MI6. But I wasn't paying much attention to what he actually said. So when we get to that bit, I'm going to play it and see if it says MI6 or MI7. But in the original version, it said MI7, but the subtitles say MI6. Anyway. Right, so she's getting ready for today's transmission from Commander Strangways, and but then she hears a noise, and then the blind mice appear and shoot her. Well, I think they're the blind mice, whatever. Anyway, bad guys appear and shoot her to death, and grab all the files. There we go, they're going through the files. It's going to show us here the files that they're getting. Crab Key and Dr. No. That's the name of the film. Hang on. Hang on. Where is it? It's here somewhere. He said it. He said it. Sort of. Right, that's the name of the film, obviously. So they're getting the files. Right, then we cut to London, England, home of democracy and the British Empire. Well, not anymore, but never mind. When I first watched it, I thought, is that a still photo? But it's not actually, because you can see the flag waving and the water moving. So there we go. Right, so we're here at some communications thing, and obviously they've lost contact with Jamaica. You know, they opened up communications and then it's just gone dead or whatever, or it's still open. I wonder if they heard the commotion. I wonder if they heard the gunshots going off. I don't know, but anyway, there's obviously a problem. So they go to the foreman of signals. Looks like Buddy Holly, but never mind. And he says, get on to MI6. There you go, get the MI6 radio security control. But it's MI7, so anyway, whatever. Does it say MI6? Hang on, I've got to know. Not Doctor No, I've got to know. But has it been overdubbed? Right, give me the MI6 radio security. I said, it does say 6, doesn't it, there? I don't know what he said in the DVD version. I didn't check. Never mind. Does it matter? It doesn't really matter, does it? Right, so anyway. So he's getting in touch, saying, we'll get our best man on it right away and all that stuff. So, right, we're heading to Les Cercles, Les Ambassadeurs. An agent is come looking for Mr. Bond, James Bond. So, and they were going to meet him. In a minute. We don't see him yet until he introduces himself. But first we see Sylvia Trench, played by Eunice Gayson, but not voiced by Eunice Gayson, voiced by, I can never remember her name, Nikki van der Zyl. She's done loads of voiceovers, I think, as Nikki van der Zyl. She also does the voice of Honey Rider as well. But she does the voice of Sylvia Trench. Not a very flattering name, is it? Sylvia Trench. But anyway, they're playing cards. I don't know what they're playing. Is it blackjack? I don't know. Snap. And she's losing to James Bond. I think I've not read the James Bond books, by the way. I think I've got them somewhere on my Kindle. I've got an old Kindle. You remember the old Paperwhite Kindles? I've got one somewhere. I don't know where I've put it. I've put it somewhere safe. And I think that's got all, the complete works of Ian Fleming on. But I can't find the bugger. But anyway, obviously, I got them legally. Anyway, that's by the by. But I've not got around to reading them. And I can't find my Kindle. Right, so where were we? Yeah, she's losing, so she wants to get more money. She's obviously rich. Oh, I'm going to say, yes, I forgot to mention. I think in the book, but I'm not sure. But in the making of documentary and stuff, there were suggestions that they already knew each other and that it was an ongoing relationship that they'd had prior to this. So are they playing the house and just she's losing on purpose so he can win loads of money and they're going to share it? I don't know, but she's losing badly and he's winning loads of money. But there we go. So anyway, so she loses again. And there we go. So she says, he says, I admire your courage, miss. And she says, Trench, Sylvia Trench. And then he says, and you are Bond, James Bond. But originally, I've got a note about this, I think. If I can find it. By the way, I kept getting this wrong, but anyway, that's by the by. There we go. In the first Bond movie, this one, two of the people, both of them Bond girls, introduce themselves the Bond way. On the Caribbean beach, Ursula Andress, which we haven't seen yet, gives her name as Ryder, Honey Ryder. Not quite, straight after, but anyway. Also in the casino at the beginning, this bit, before Sean Connery has uttered more than a handful of words in the movie, Eunice Gayson presents herself as Trench, Sylvia Trench. When Connery then replies Bond, James Bond, it is to poke sweet fun at the young lady by mimicking her cadence. It is quite likely, therefore, that at the time there was no intention of having 007 use that exact type of presentation again. There you go. They were just because she'd said it, he said it back to her in that way. So there we go. Right. Anyway, so this is a classic introduction. But then he gets interrupted. There we go. Going to come up to him and say, "I'm sorry, you've got to, phone M or whatever." Says, "Oh, I've got to go." And then she goes as well. So that's why I'm thinking, are they in cahoots? I don't know. But anyway, he's got loads of money. He's got to cash in his chips. And he comes out with a big wad of money. Good old-fashioned, massive British banknotes that they used to have in the old days. But then, they inviting her to dinner. By the way, for some reason, don't really show it here. For some reason, her right eyebrow often goes way, it's like way up for some reason. I don't know why. Is it going to show it? There you go. You see it kind of there. Look, her right eyebrow goes way up there, and her left eyebrow stays down. And it doesn't annoy me or anything. I notice it a lot, and it stands out to me. But anyway, she's very lovely, and she nearly didn't do this film. They wanted her to do it, and then she got a part in a play or something like that, and she'd to fit it in with her performances, which she had to do 8 times a week. But anyway, so they're gonna go to dinner. Going to play golf and go to dinner the next day. So off he goes. By the way, it's really early in the morning in this film right now. By the time he gets to M's office, it's 3 a.m. So I don't know what time it is here. Must be near enough that. So it must be one of those 24-hour casinos. Anyway, so here he is arriving at Universal Exports. There we go. It's not at it's not. Is it in Whitehall or is it in just some London street? I don't know. But there we see the shipping agencies and solicitors and Universal Exports, which were the cover for MI7. But pressing the wrong button, pressing the wrong key. Anyway, so here he goes into the office. Does his famous throwing his his hat onto the hat stand, and there we see Lois Maxwell as Miss Moneypenny. We don't know her name until the Craig era, and then we find out it's Eve Moneypenny, but she's just Miss Moneypenny. Lois Maxwell Canadian, and a lot of people have said, is Miss Moneypenny supposed to be Canadian? Because Canadian, Canada's part of the British Commonwealth as it was at the time. So that's why she works, in the government agency. But apparently she's not supposed to be. She's supposed to be English, but she's obviously got a Canadian accent. Anyway, whatever. Straight off the bat, look, they're flirting with each other. Anyway, it got a bit awkward later on, though, didn't it? As Lois Maxwell got a bit more mature, and it got a bit awkward, didn't it? But anyway. Right, so in he goes, and we get to see Bernard Lee as M. And he does have a name, and I can't remember. Can't remember what his name is. Miles. Miles is his first name, but I don't know his last name. For some reason, the M's, their actual names have M in it, and he's Miles. We learned that in Spy Who Loved Me. And the next, his successor is... can't remember. Also begins with M. But anyway, whatever. Hello, Justin34. Yes, Merry Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to you. Hope you've had a good day. My cat's come down and thrown open all the doors, made it really cold. Unbelievable. She's heard me speaking, probably. Have another swig of my Star Trek beer. Wonder if it's synth ale. It must be. Where were we? Oh, yes, he's arrived. So, let's talk to him. I'm going to look that up one time. I'm going to look it up. Bernard Lee, M. Right, here we go. M. Bernard Lee, James Bond. Oh, Sir Miles Messervy. There we go. Does it say who succeeds him? Succeeded by Robert Brown, the actor Robert Brown. What was Robert Brown's character? I'm sure it was Admiral Hargreaves. I'm sure it was. I'm sure that was Robert Brown. Let's have a look, see what it says. Yes, Admiral Hargreaves. But does he have a first name that begins with M? That's what I want to know. Doesn't blooming say it, just says Admiral Hargreaves. Don't know. And Judi Dench, we don't know what her name is, do we? But we know that Ray Fiennes, his name begins with M, doesn't it? But I'm blanking. I'm blanking on what it is. It's something that begins with M. I can't remember. I'm going to have to look it up. Because it's bothering me. I'm going to have to look it up because it's bothering me. I'm probably misspelling this. Oh, no, I spelt it right. Crikey. M. Ray Fiennes. It'll come to me before I get there. Mallory. There we go. Lieutenant Colonel Gareth Mallory. So he's got M in his name. I'm going to say Admiral Hargreaves is Malcolm Hargreaves. Anyway, that's by the by. That was just to satiate my curiosity. Right, so it's telling 007 that they've lost contact with Jamaica, and he's... but before he goes in, he says, when do you sleep, 007? Because he says, good evening, sir. And he says, it's 3 a.m. He says, when do you sleep? Oh, when I need to. Anyway, so they send him over to Jamaica to see what's happened to Strangways. And he's on the 7:30 flight to Jamaica. So, but before he goes, they're going to give him a new gun. Right. We're also learning about that the Americans are launching test missiles into space, and somebody's toppling them. You know, they're doing that, sending a beam out and toppling the missiles. So they're going off course, and they're going to launch one that's going to go around the moon. Pardon me, shortly. So Bond has got to, find out what's going on. Right, there we go. We also get the first mention of Leiter, Felix Leiter, who we're going to meet later. And we learned that Bond has never met him, but he's heard of him. But he does meet him in this. Right, so he's got to get to the airport. There we go. You'll get a set of background papers at the airport in a self-destructor bag. I don't think they ever mention that again in the Bond films. That's like something on Mission Impossible, doesn't it? But anyway. And we don't see it either. We don't see it in the film. I thought, why don't they show us the self-destructor bag? I want to know what it does. But where does he put it? But you'll get a set of background at the airport. So will he be on the plane and this bag will just burst into flames after he's read his background papers? I don't know, but anyway, we don't see it. Anyway, so there we get something is Armourer. And so the Armourer comes in. This is Major Boothroyd, aka Q, not played by Desmond Llewellyn. I can't remember who he's played by. I will tell you in a moment. Peter Burton plays Major Boothroyd. Major Boothroyd, by the way, were named, this is in my notes as well, I hope. Yes, it was. After a real person. The Armourer who gives Bond his Walther PPK, this is what's happening here, because Bond before this, for 10 years, we learned that Bond has been doing this for 10 years, so he's well in, it's not an origin story, he's well into his life as a 00 agent. He's been using a Beretta for 10 years, and now they're giving him a Walther PPK. So anyway, the Armourer who gives Bond his Walther PPK at the start of the movie is Major Boothroyd, who in the next movie, From Russia with Love, 1963, which we're going to do on New Year's Day, was played by Desmond Llewellyn. Beginning with Goldfinger, 1964, the Armourer would forever be known as Q for Quartermaster. The character of Boothroyd first appeared in Ian Fleming's original Dr. No novel. He was named for Geoffrey Boothroyd. Remember that Dr. No was the 6th book that he wrote. He was named for Geoffrey Boothroyd, who wrote to Fleming complaining about Bond's use of a Beretta in the early Bond books and recommending Bond use a Walther PPK instead. There's on the Blu-ray. There's a vintage documentary that's really crackly old black and white thing with the real Geoffrey Boothroyd talking all about how Berettas are rubbish and Walther PPKs are great. So there we go. Anyway. So that's information. So here he is. This is where he's going to tell him that to use this one now, lose the Beretta. He says, I've used the Beretta for 10 years and it's never let me down. He says, yeah, but it jammed up on you and you ended up in hospital last year. So anyway, there you go. He spent 6 months in hospital. So if he wants to carry on being a 00, he says, so we also learned that 00 means his license to kill. So 00 means your license to kill, not get killed. So if you want to stay that way, you want to go back to regular intelligence duties, you'll use the Walther. Oh, splendid. Anyway, so there you go. So off he goes now. He's heading out to Jamaica, but he's trying to sneak his Beretta out. Look, he's got it there underneath. 007, just leave the Beretta. Sure. You're sure. Right, so off he's going. And Moneypenny, look, she loves him. Poor Moneypenny. There you go. So off he goes. He gives her the empty box. Right, so he goes back to his only the first of 3 times that we see Bond's flat, house, whatever it is. We see it again in Live and Let Die with Roger Moore, and we see it in Spectre, which I watched today, with Daniel Craig. And I don't think we see where he lives any other time, I don't think. Anyway, but we see it here. A very nice house. I bet he's got a cleaner. It doesn't look like that in the Daniel Craig films, but anyway, he goes in, he hears a noise. So I think somebody's broke into his house. So he takes his shoes off, look, and he sneaks up, and we see a pair of sexy legs. She was supposed to be naked. Ian Fleming, massive pervert, man after my own heart. Lots of naked women in his books. She was supposed to be completely naked. Honey Rider's supposed to come out of the sea completely naked. Who can blame him? But obviously they couldn't do that in the film, so she's got one of James Bond's pyjama tops on, and she's playing golf with Odd Job's bowler hats. Now then, where did Goldfinger come? I don't know the order of the Bond books. I'm going to look it up now. Bond books. Release order. Yes, Goldfinger was the 3rd book. Casino Royale, Diamonds Are Forever, Goldfinger, hang on, no, that's not right. Bond books in order. Oh, right, it's going that way. It's going that way. So, no, Goldfinger's after this. So, yeah. From Russia with Love came before this as well. So there we go. No, Goldfinger came after this. So I think, is this a souvenir that he got? Is it actually Odd Job's bowler hat? But it can't, because Goldfinger came after this. Both in books and in film, but never mind. Anyway. So here he is. Going to blow her away. But she says, "Oh, you made me miss." And she's got her eyebrows going to go up in a minute. Are you ready? You're watching. So as I said, I took you up on your invitation. Oh, that was for tomorrow afternoon. So anyway, oh, there you got her eyebrows gone up. Look at it. And so anyway, he says, "I've got to go straight away," but obviously they're not. They're going to shag. There you go. So he was checking his watch. He's got time for a quickie. That's basically it, isn't it? Which is what Bond should be like. Anyway, here he is landing in Jamaica in a Pan Am plane. Should have been a British Airways plane, shouldn't it, really? You'd have thought, so from London to Jamaica, you'd think there'd be a British Airways plane, wouldn't you? Maybe he had the connection, I don't know. Anyway. I don't know, as I said, lots of overdubbing with the voices. So let's see what this fella sounds like. Not a lot of Jamaican accents. There's some, but there's some where you're thinking, that's not a Jamaican actor doing that. Let's have a listen to this fella.
Hello, New York. Your Pan Am 63 just landed Kingston, Jamaica.
Whatever. Fair enough. That's not too. That's just a, what is it? No accent, isn't it? But whatever. Right. So Bond has arrived at Kingston, Jamaica. There's Jack Lord. Steve McGarrett from a Y50 as Felix Leiter. He's waiting for Bond. But something happens. Bond's walking out. We see she takes a photo of him. There she is. And she takes out the flash bulb and licks it. And the actress, whose name I can't remember, I will tell you in a minute. What's the blooming name? Marguerite Lawaz plays Annabelle Chung, photographer. For some reason, in this film, they've got like half Chinese characters in her. She's supposed to be half Chinese, so that she's a Jamaican actress. She's actually a former Miss Jamaica, glamour, not glamour, beauty pageant winner, former Miss Jamaica. To make her look, as though she had Chinese heritage or East Asian heritage. So they put prosthetics over her, to give her the, what do they call it? Hooded eyelids or whatever. I don't know what they call it. But she said they also put tape that went all the way back round her head, and she said it really hurt. But they did it with another actress, another character called Miss Tarot, who's supposed to be half Chinese, and obviously Dr. No is supposed to be half Chinese, half German or something like that. So I don't know why they're going with that. I don't know. But anyway. I was going to bring up all the, it came out at the time of the Yellow Peril and all that stuff, but you're not allowed to say that anymore, are you? But in the early to mid-60s, like China were asserting itself as a world power, wasn't it? They were at 64 when it first set off its first, atomic weapon and all that, and it became a world power and that, didn't it? I mean, there were lots of films that came out at the time, where the Chinese, rather than the Russians, were the bad guys, because it were all about, the menace from the East and all that stuff. So is this based on that? Ian Fleming said he based Dr. No on Fu Manchu. So another problematic villain, but anyway, whatever. And she didn't like licking the flashbulb. They said, take your flashbulb out and lick it, she was told. Terence Fisher, maybe, I don't know. She said, but that's evil. I thought, what's evil about it? But apparently Terence Fisher just said, you're supposed to be evil, darling. So there you go. So she's watching, she's a baddie. But you see, he puts his hat up. Hang on, in a minute. As she's taking the photo, you can see it there. He's got his hat up, covering his face. He obviously noticed her. Anyway, he goes to a taxi, calls a taxi. He's about to push in front of these two cabin crew, you've got to call them now, haven't you? Air hostesses, whatever you want to call them. But then they go, all right, then go ahead, help yourself. And he goes, oh, sorry, and lets them in. And then this fella arrives. He appears, says, Mr. Bond, Government House sent me, to take you to your hotel and all that stuff. So he says, okay, you get me bags. I just want to check on my reservation. He said, I can do that. So, no, I'll do it. You sort the bags out. He's called Jones. Character's called Jones, played by Reggie Carter, who were apparently a famous in Jamaica actor, theatre actor in Jamaica. But anyway. Right, so it goes to the phone. There's Felix Leiter, looking, not looking at all suspicious, reading his massive newspaper with his sunglasses on. What's in the news? Somebody that trying to catch that. Something about cricket. Ooh. Teams named for 2 cricket trial matches. What else? Don't know. It's the sports page, isn't it? Whatever. Right, so he gets on the phone to Government House. Did you send a car for me? No, we didn't. He says, okay, fair enough, just asking. I will meet the head of Government House at 1 o'clock or whatever. I might be a little bit late. So now he knows there's something suspicious. They didn't send a car. There you go, that's the fellow he's talking to. And Steve McGarrett goes and checks. Sorry, not Steve McGarrett. Felix Leiter goes and checks. And apparently he was going to meet James Bond there, but then he saw him talking to the bad guy. He said, I saw you talking to the opposition and didn't know, what side you were on. But anyway, he gets in the car with I forgot his name already. I forgot his bloody name already. Is it Johnny? It's not Johnny, is it? Jones. There we go. Cottage Industries, look. Right, so he sets off Felix Leiter, and we learn that Quarrel sets off after him. We're going to meet Quarrel later. Anyway, he's driving fast for some reason. Oh, excuse me, this beer's repeated. There you go. You always drive this fast, but then he says somebody's following us. So they have a little bit of a car chase. It's got really good hats. Look, it's an open top car, and the hats are not flying off at all. Why is that slow? Have I done something? Have I pressed a button? I think I might have done. I don't know. Have I pressed a button? I don't know. Ooh, what's that for? Well, I've pressed more buttons and I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Oh, God. Anyway, it's gone slow and I don't know why. I don't know how to make it go faster. I've done something wrong. Maybe that. Nope, not that. Whatever. Don't matter. Anyway, they soon give him the slip. He says, take the next turning on the right. So they're hiding. But then obviously Bond wants information. He knows he's suspicious. So they're going to have a fight. Here they go. They have a fight. And he knocks him out. And then he wants to before he has a chance to get information out of him. I forgot to mention earlier, the hats are staying on even though they're in an open top car. They're bombing down the street at 100 miles an hour or whatever. The hats are glued to their heads. Anyway, he says, all right, I'll tell you, let me have a cigarette. But he's got a poison cigarette that kills him. So poor Jones is now dead. So James Bond's to drive himself to Government House. And this has his first, or one of his first, dark comedic things. Here he gets out. What does he say to him? There you go. Sergeant, make sure he doesn't get away. Obviously he's dead. There he goes having a look. Bloody hell, they're dead, man. Why is it going slow? I don't know. There's a playback speed thing, isn't there? And I've pressed a button. Hang on. I'll just remove it a minute. Just bear with me. Playback speed. Where is it? I've done something. Where the hell is it? Hey, it's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. Where the hell is it? Why can't I find it? There's always something in there. Just bear with me, I'll sort it out. So here, why ain't that in the drop download? Yes, I've got it at half speed for some reason. There we go. Right, I've sorted it. Right, we're back. There you go. Ooh, look, there's a dead man here. Anyway, right, so in he goes. To meet with, I forgot his name already. He's got a double barrel name. Playdell Smith. This is the chief police commissioner or whatever, superintendent. I don't know what they call him. William Foster Davis is the actor. Don't know the name. Did he just say there, Duff? Is that his name? Hang on. Oh, I've done that again. There we go. Duff, what have you got for us? Yes, so he must be. Don't he say? No, he doesn't say. He must be Police Superintendent Duff. So there's no information. The car was stolen, but they don't know who the fella is. They haven't got an ID for him. But anyway, so he wants to get the information about Strangways and talk to the last people that saw him alive. So they're going to go. He's going to meet them socially at the club. But before that, they're going to go and check out Strangways' house. Now then, in the background, do you see the blind men again? Oh no, the soldiers. I just saw them in the background and I thought, is that them the three blind, the three blind mice men? Is it them? Because he has a look at them, doesn't he? I mean, there's three people there, isn't it? Is it them? It could be. It might be them. You can see him there in the background. You see my mouse pointer. I'm going to say it is. And he has a look at them. So maybe they're returning to the scene of the crime. Or maybe they're just soldiers or policemen. I don't know. But anyway, they're there in the background. There's the blood stain. They've matched it to his assistant. Her body must have disappeared. They don't know what's happened to her, maybe. They must have taken the body away and disposed of it. Like they did with Strangways. They've all disappeared, but they've left a blood stain. So anyway, we learned that they've changed all the frequencies, so they wouldn't get through. There's something in a book there. There we go. What's that? What's happening here? To professional services, Professor Dent for geological analysis. We've met Professor Dent. Remember, he's suspicious. Paid him for something, and we learn what in a bit. I wonder if one of those books is Birds of the West Indies. Is it Birds of the West Indies by James Bond? Don't know. Maybe it is. Right, so we see that Strangways has been out fishing for, I don't know, swordfish, marlin, I don't know fish, with Quarrel, who is played by, I think he's a Jamaican actor, but we're living in Britain, John Kitzmiller. He plays Quarrel, anyway. Quarrel's... In You Quarrel, in the book, because it's the 6th book and it came after Live and Let Die, Quarrel is in Live and Let Die, but obviously the Live and Let Die film came after this, so they didn't have Quarrel. Spoilers, Quarrel dies in this. So in the Live and Let Die film with Roger Moore, we meet Quarrel Jr., who's supposed to be this Quarrel's son, so there we go. But they're supposed to be the same character in both films. Dear. Anyway. Right. Oh, I've done that again. Right. So they're going to go and meet the chaps at the club. But anyway, back at his hotel room, he's having a vodka martini, medium dry vodka martini, mixed like he said, sir, and not stirred, shaken, not stirred. They make a mistake in the James Bond film. In You Only Live Twice with Charles Gray, who's not playing Blofeld in it. He's playing a good guy in it. But he says, he gives him a vodka martini, and he says, that's stirred, not shaken, right? And James Bond goes, perfect. I thought, no, he likes it shaken, not stirred, not shaken. Anyway, whatever. So he's having a martini. He's getting ready. So now he's arranging stuff now. And he's checking out, closing that door. And he's going to come up to his suitcase, briefcase. And he's going to put some powder on it. Is it just talcum powder or is it some special stuff? I don't know. I'll say it's just talc. That he puts on the latches of his case. And this is where we learn that he's either got really dirty hair or he's got uses boot polish in his hair. I don't know. But he pulls out a hair on his head. Doing like that. And licks it and puts it over the door here. Either he's got really dirty hair or everybody does this, because you can see there's a line there where you're gonna. So I don't know how many takes it took to get this hair to stick, but there, look, you see there's mucky marks here where loads of people have been sticking their hair on this door. It's to see if anybody's been in the room, basically. That's what he's doing there. Or it could have just fallen off. It's only a hair, isn't it? But anyway, whatever. Then he does that. Puts his holster on. His suits were made. I've forgotten. At Savile Row, I think there was Savile Row that made his suits. Where have I seen it? There we go. Connery's suits for this film were made by Savile Row tailor Anthony Sinclair. Sinclair stated that a truly great bespoke suit would be able to stand up to a good deal of abuse, such as grabbing by the lapels, and still look great afterwards. To prove his point, Sean Connery was asked to sleep in his suit. When he woke up the next morning, he was stunned to see that it looked fantastic. You're supposed to be able to scrunch them up into a ball, and they just like pop back into, great, shape and stuff. And they're probably really expensive because it's Savile Row, isn't it? It's not a 50 quid suit like I'd get from Asda. But cause that's all I can afford if I need a suit. But anyway, and they're to cut it so that it hung nicely and it didn't show that he had a holster underneath with a gun and all that. So anyway, so off he goes. But there's something else. No, I think that's it, isn't it? Yes, off he goes to the club. Right, off he goes. Right, so here he is with I can never remember his name. Him and Professor Dent and General Thingamabob Potter. Is it General Potter? Yes, it's General Potter. Playdell Smith. Anyway, right, so they're all talking about it, and for some reason Dent goes on about his assistant, Strangways' assistant, who, really pretty and giving it all that. Wah. But anyway, they're asking what Strangways used to get up to, and he says, he just used to go fishing a lot, and he used to go out with his fella Quarrel. Who was the most expensive of the boat captains, but so he's got to go and talk to Quarrel now. Here he is. Where do I find Quarrel? Him over there. So he's painting a boat, and he's so there you go. I'm a friend of Commander Strangways, and he's making out, I don't know, good to have friends, but I want to hire you. No, not doing it. Fobs him off. So he thinks, right, I'll just follow him then. So he follows him into this bar, and he keeps talking to him, and he says, all right then, let's go and have some privacy in this little room back there. So off they go, and then they're going to get him. He pulls a knife on him, and then the bartender, who's called Puss Fella, because apparently I think in the book Puss Fella gets his name because he wrestles octopuses or octopi, whatever the plural is. I think it depends. Why would you want to wrestle an octopus? I don't know, but that's how he gets his name. But his biography in this, just saying it. Oh, there it says there. Puss Fella wrestles alligators, which doesn't make any sense because his name is supposed to be, Puss Octopus Fella, but he wrestles alligators. Anyway, but Bond soon overpowers and pulls his gun. But then Jack Lord comes in as Felix Leiter and says, "I'm a good guy. So here's your gun back, and we're going to meet you at the airport." And so, we're all friends now. But then he says, "Puss fella's a great cook. I hope his cook's better than he fights." But anyway, so they're all mates. So they're in the whatever it is, the bar or whatever, with a band playing. The band's got a name, can't remember what it is. But apparently the most famous band in Jamaica, and this song that they're singing, Jump Up, they were wanting it to be a really big hit. I think it was like a moderate hit, I think, when the film came out. Maybe before I don't know. But behave, yo. She's playing with a toy that she got for Christmas. The cat. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying now. This band, like I said, and for many years they were the biggest band in Jamaica, and they wanted this, they expected this song Jump Up to win this big hit, and I don't think it was. But anyway, Monty Norman, I think, were quite disappointed, but never mind. Right, so here they are. They're having drinks in this bar. But look who's lurking in the background. It's, I forgot her name already. The photographer lady, Annabelle Chung. She's lurking. By the way, she was dubbed as well. I don't know who did her voice. Probably, what's her face? Just let me look. Probably Nikki van der Zil. I don't know. But she did Honey Rider, Sylvia Trench, and various. Let's have a look, see if it says. Oh, pardon me. Even Puss Fella, even he didn't have his own voice. Loads of voices. Oh no, that's just the actor was uncredited. Sorry. What am I looking for? Oh, I did the voice of. Annabelle Chung. Can't find it. It'll probably Nikki van der What's-her-face, Nikki van der Zil, probably. Anyway, right. Where were we? Anyway, so they're talking all about, what they've got the suspicions about, what Strangways were up to. It were on to something. It'd been out with Quarrel, checking these islands, looking for whoever's toppling these missiles. They know about Dr. No. Dr. No's got one of the islands at Crab Key. But they've flown over it, and all it is an old mine, so there's nothing there that looks suspicious, so there's no cause to go in and all that stuff. Quarrel took Strangways out there, go to Fire Island, Crab Key, Morgan's Reef, and they went to all these places except for Crab Key. There you go. "We didn't have no right to go there," he says. By the way, this fella's freaking out while he's dancing. Look at him. Look at him. You crazy mofo. Anyway, she's taking photos. By the way they did this, she's not actually taking photos. If you watch it, you'll see a flash. There it goes. Or did she take a photo? It looks like she does there, doesn't she? But Peter Hunt, the editor, she's taking a photo, isn't she? You go through a frame at a time. Maybe they've changed it for the HD thing. I don't know. But Peter Hunt says all he did was he just put in one white frame in and it just made it look like she'd taken a photo. But that actually looks like she took a photo, doesn't it? Or maybe they'll do it again in a bit. I don't know. But unless it's just this bit here. Let's check. Go back a frame at a time. No, she does actually take a photo, but there is a white frame. Maybe that's what he meant. But anyway, there we go. So he says, Quarrel, get her on the camera. So there he goes. And it actually hurt her, did the actor. It actually hurt, I forgot her name already. Marguerite Leroy. It actually hurt her. She was a bit bruised as well, but he was really apologetic. He apologised for hurting her. But she gets her own back, so she stabs him in the face in a minute. Not in real life, obviously. Anyway, so she's not talking, and she says she works for the the newspaper, and he says, do you know this girl? Phone the newspaper, see if they send anybody out. She says, I work freelance. But there we go, she gets one of her flash bulbs and smashes it, and then just rakes it across Quarrel's face, and he's unfazed. He don't do anything, he just goes like that, and he's got blood on his hands. And obviously she didn't really do that. Well, that's the cardboard, a bit of cardboard she rubbed on his face. But anyway, so they let her go. He says, you're all rats. But he pulls her... there you go, run along freelance. There we go. You'll be sorry, you rats. And I don't know if we see her again. Do we see her again? I don't think we do. I could be wrong. Anyway, so that's what he's telling him all about. There's just a bauxite mine out there. But the stories that there's a dragon out there. All that Strangways collected were bits of rock, sand and water, and that's what he sent off to be analysed by Professor Dent. And then he's talking about Dr. No. There we go. Except his name, Dr. No. Obviously, it's called Dr. No because it's part Chinese. Obviously, the No is a Chinese or Japanese, name, I suppose, isn't it? Or word. Not no as in no. But anyway. They originally wanted Noel Coward to play Dr. No. But they asked him, they sent him a telegram or whatever saying, will you play this character? And he sent a telegram back saying, no, no, no. Because, Noel Coward, what a wit. Ian Fleming wanted Christopher Lee to play Dr. No, because he was his cousin, wasn't he? Christopher Lee was Ian Fleming's cousin, but... They didn't. But he did play a Bond baddie, didn't he, in The Man with the Golden Gun. Right, anyway, so what's happening now? There's the three blind mice. Shooting, or doing so. I don't know why there's a flash there. Is it supposed to be shooting? I don't know. Oh, but it's supposed to just be a car driving by, isn't it? They're getting ready to shoot James Bond, and that car driving by saved him. Right, he's gone to see Professor Dent. There he is. Go and talk to Professor Dent, and I wonder. This is another actress here. This is Dent's secretary or whatever they call Dent's assistant. She has got a credit. Professor Dent's secretary, Bettine LeBeau. Another one that looks like she's been made up to look like she's, I'm going to say it, the O word, an oriental appearance. What is it with this film and doing that? But I don't know. So is she? But we don't really see her much after this, so never mind. But I think it's supposed to show that they're all working for Dr. No, aren't they? Even Dent. So it's where he's saying, oh yeah, he sent me some samples and there were nothing, they're just regular stuff, it were a waste of time, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Right, so... obviously it's put the willies up Dent, so Dent's saying, you've got to take me out to Crab Key. He says, we've got procedures, I will take responsibility. So he's heading out to see Dr. No. So here he is arriving at Crab Key, and they show him into a room. Ken Adams, the production designer on many Bond films, he was production designer on this, and this kind of became... People say it's his trademark. I don't know if it's his trademark, but he does use this offset circle in the roof motif at least twice, doesn't he? Because it's the volcano lair in it as well in You Only Live Twice. Has it been in anything else? I suppose you could say Moonraker, maybe. When they're put in the room underneath the space shuttle. Maybe. But anyway, whatever. Right, so he's in this room with just a chair. Sit down in the chair. It's a bit like True Lies, isn't it, where they're talking to Jamie Lee Curtis. A bit like that. But anyway, he's getting his orders now. You have to kill James Bond. And there we go. Take this tarantula and kill him with this tarantula. This overly elaborate way of killing him. Here's a gun. Shoot him. They've got to use a tarantula. By the way, this room cost... what did he say now? Cost Ken Adam, about £450. He said it cost me £450 to do this room. So there you go. Probably a lot back then. Right, so off he goes with the tarantula. I've got a lot to say about that scene that's coming up in a bit. Right, so alright, Bond's back at his hotel. Here he is. He's going to be checking his stuff. The hair's gone. Pardon me, but his mucky, smeary marks are there because of all the boot polish in his hair. By the way, he's not wearing a toupee, Sean Connery, for this. A lot of people say, for all the Bond films, 'cause he started losing his hair young-ish. He used a toupee, but he didn't for this. I don't think he did until Thunderball. Is it in my notes? Let's have a look. Yes, contrary to popular belief, Sir Sean Connery was not wearing, want a sir at the time, was not wearing a hairpiece in his first 2 outings. Oh, so Goldfinger when he started wearing a toupee. Was not wearing a hairpiece in his first 2 outings as James Bond, although he already was balding by the time this film was in production. He still had a decent amount of hair, and the filmmakers used varying techniques to make the most of what was left. Boot polish, probably. By the time of Goldfinger, so I was leaving all mucky marks on the door. By the time of Goldfinger, 1964, they'd rattled these films out, didn't they? This was 62. Then a year later, From Russia with Love, and a year after that with Goldfinger. Them were the days, weren't they, of filmmaking, not like these days. Anyway, by the time of Goldfinger, Connery's hair was too thin, so various toupees were used for his last Bond outings. Right, so there we go. Right, so he's checking his stuff. He checks his case. There we go. We see there's fingerprints on it. There we go. Fingerprints in the talcum powder. So they've tried to get into his case. So he thinks, oh, right, so somebody's, keeping an eye on me. So he's going to have a drink of his vodka. But then he's about to pour it out, and he thinks, oh, hang on. There could be cyanide in this, because that's what were in that cigarette that poor Jones took. So he decides not to, and luckily he's got another bottle in the drawer. His emergency vodka, unopened, so he uses that instead, because he's an alcoholic. Right, so he sits down, and then the passage of time is in bed, and somebody must come into his room. We don't hear him. He doesn't hear him. He mustn't have locked the door. I don't know, but suddenly there's a tarantula in his bed. He wakes up, and here we go. We're going to see the tarantula. Here it comes, the tarantula. That's not Sean Connery. When we see Sean Connery the tarantula, they put a sheet of glass between them, and it's pretty obvious because he was terrified of it. But for some shots, they had to show it crawling over a body. So they got Bob Simmons in again. Poor old Bob Simmons. So he's here having the tarantula, and it's a poisonous tarantula. I don't know if you can, it can be snakes. You can milk them, can't you, for the venom, so they're not venomous anymore. You can get all the venom out of them. I don't know if you can do that with tarantulas, but so they're saying this was a poisonous tarantula, so they're to be really careful with it. And it had a name. It's in my notes. Just bear with me. It's in my notes. Bear with me. I think it's in my notes. It's not in my notes. Oh, see if I can find it. It's got a name as a tarantula, and I can't remember what it is. There we go. Sean Connery had a morbid fear of spiders. The shot of the spider in his bed was done with a sheet of glass or perspex between him and the spider, which can be seen in one shot. It's a bit obvious. When this didn't look sufficiently realistic, additional close-up scenes were reshot with stuntman Bob Simmons. Simmons reported that the tarantula crawling over Bond was the scariest stunt he had ever performed. According to Stephen J. Rubin's 1981 book of the James Bond films, this tarantula was named Rosie. There we go. Anyway, so this is Bob Simmons. It's crawling over here. But then when we see with Sean Connery's face, you can see it's on the sheet of glass. You can see when he's pressing up against the glass. He shouldn't have pressed up against the glass, and then nobody had been any the wiser. But never mind. I don't blame him. I wouldn't have wanted to do it either. But anyway, it crawls over him. There we come to Bob Simmons again. Good job, Bob Simmons has a hairy chest like Sean Connery, isn't it? Anyway, so there we go. He waits for it to crawl off him, and then he jumps out of bed, and he kills it to the music. Cool. Was that deliberate? But he said, kill it, do it in musical cadence so we could do music to it. I don't know, but they did. Right, so there we go. Next day, he's obviously slept in the bathroom for the rest of the night by the looks of it. And he's ready for action now. Needs to get to learn all about Dr. No and where the files are. So this is where we meet Miss Tarot. I've forgotten already. Hey, what am I like? Miss Tarot, where are you? Yes, it is Miss Tarot, played by Zena Marshall. Another supposed to be half Chinese for some reason. It's Jamaica. It's not bloody Taiwan, for Christ's sake. But anyway, whatever. She's played what's his face as why can I never remember his name? Playdell Smith. Why can I never remember that? Because I'm an idiot. She's Playdell Smith's secretary. So they've all got these. Dent's got apparently a half Chinese secretary. He's got an half Chinese secretary. Half Chinese photographers running about. Dr. No's half Chinese. I don't get it. Does it explain it in the book? I don't know because I've not read it. Anyway, so she's saying, get me the file on Dr. No and Crab Key. And we learn that they've disappeared because we saw them get them. Apparently Strangways had the files. They don't have copies of them. But anyway, it says fair enough. I'd be surprised if they hadn't been stolen. And then we learn that this arrived in the diplomatic pouch from M. So it says, oh look, a present from home, which we learn is a Geiger counter. And then he says, can I get out that way? Because he wants to go and see Miss Tarot. Because he's not pining for Sylvia Trench, is it? But anyway, so here he comes. So you're obviously listening at the keyhole. But he said, no, we're just looking for those files. I couldn't find them. And then he says, let's go out to dinner. And she says, okay, I'll come to your hotel at 7 o'clock or whatever. I think she says 7. Whatever. We'll say 7. I think he said 7. Right, so anyway, so he's out with Quarrel now at the jetty, and he says, where did Strangways put the samples that he got from Crab Key? He says, just down there. So he checks them with the Geiger counter. Radioactive. Highly radioactive. It's going mental as the Geiger counter. And he shows Steve McGarrett. She's just going to call him that. And he says, all right, so we're going to have to get out to Crab Key. So I'll meet you at 9 o'clock or whatever. No, he tells them, I'll meet you at 7. So he told her an earlier time. So, anyway. Right, so back at his hotel. He phones up Miss Tarot, and she's... Because she'd left a message for him. Miss Tarot had left a message for him. She said, come up to my apartment. It's in the mountains. So, there we go. So, up he heads into the picturesque Jamaica. They couldn't have found a better street, the big bloody factory or a big plant of some sort there. Couldn't have found something more scenic. Anyway, up he goes. Here he goes up into the. First he's going to get nearly run off the road by a hearse. I'm presuming it's the hearse we saw earlier on in the film. They try and run him off the road, but he goes. He gets under this truck. Look, he just fits under, but they don't, and they go off the cliff. And obviously, lots of explosives in this hearse, because it just blows up. There it goes. Don't know. They must have had something. They must have had poured petrol over themselves or something. I don't know, but anyway. So that's the end of whoever they were. maybe it's the three blind mice. Maybe it's them. I don't know. But this fella says, what happened to them? And then Bond says, I think they were headed to a funeral. He don't snort. So he's headed up to his. For some reason, he's walking up there. Must have parked his car further down the road. I don't know why. And he walks up to Miss Tarrow's apartment. It looks like a bloody house to me, but never mind. And here she is. She's just got out of the shower. Because remember, she's not expecting him now. He's supposed to be dead, isn't he? Because she's a baddie, by the way. Spoilers. And sorry, she's astonishingly gorgeous. Even with the prosthetics that's supposed to make her look, I'm going to say it again, oriental. Even though I'm not supposed to say that. I don't care, it's Christmas. By the way, Merry Christmas to all the Japanese people that have been to KFC today. Apparently it's a thing, isn't it, in Japan? They want to go to KFC on Christmas. Anyway. There you go. Didn't expect you so soon. She just got out of the shower. So, obviously he's thinking, hey, I'm in here. But then her phone rings and she goes, and obviously it's, I don't know, Dr. No or somebody. So she says, yes, he's here. I know, I don't know what happened. And so, we'll stay here and do stuff, if you know what I mean. There we go. And then, obviously, passage of time, they've done the deed. And he says, I'm hungry, I want to go and eat something. And she says, I'll make you a Chinese meal, because she's half Chinese. And he says, no, I'm going to, I want to go and eat something. Anyway, Sci-Fi Quest here saying, no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Sorry, wrong film. We'll get to it eventually. We'll get to Goldfinger. Anyway, so he phones. He says he's phoning a taxi, and he says, "Can you send a car?" He says, "James Bond here," because that's what you do when you phone a taxi up, don't you? When I phone a taxi, hello, Stephen Johnson here. Can I have a car sent to my address? But there you go. And she says, "Why are you phoning the taxi?" He says, "Oh, my car's broke down, engine wouldn't start." She went, "Oh, that explains why you're phoning the taxi." So anyway, this taxi arrives. Actually, they're going out to dinner, aren't they? And but it's not a taxi. It's the superintendent Duff. Nearly forgot his name. And he says, "Booker." Should have had Steve McGarrett saying that, shouldn't they? Should have got Felix Leiter in and Steve McGarrett said, "Booker, Duffo," but they didn't. And then she spits in his face, because, women soon turn, don't they? Here he goes, she's going, spits in his face, look, hang on, little, proper greedy. And a Merry Christmas to you, Melvin. Hope you've had a nice day, with lots of food and prezzies. I've done nothing but eat today, and the weight I've lost, I'll probably put it all back on today, but whatever. Anyway, so that's the last we see of Miss Tarrow. She's in a cell somewhere now. But anyway, he's going waiting now for whoever's going to come, Miss Tarrow's handler. So he's going to sit down. Obviously, he's going to have some booze because he's an alcoholic. And he's going through the joint. I think that's a song playing. Mango, banana and tangerine. Maybe Michael Caine's there. The size of a tangerine. Speaking of Michael Caine, Italian Job were on TV today and I missed it. I just saw the end when the bus were hanging over. Great film, The Italian Job. Anyway, so he's waiting there with his silencer and there he goes playing cards. But then somebody comes in and it turns out, we just see the gun and takes 6 bullets into the pillows that are there. And it's Professor Dent. There he is. They thought you'd turn up. Says, throw your gun on the floor. Anyway, so he's asking him, what's going on. He says, well, I'll tell you everything. But then he just shoots him, and I don't know why. I'll tell you, as you won't live to use the information I'm working for. And he picks up his gun again as when Bond's finished lighting his cig. I nearly said wrong word. Lighting his cig. And it's, obviously there's no bullets in his gun. So it's a Smith & Wesson, you've had your six. And then he just shoots him. So he just said, tell me the information now, or I will shoot you, because you can't shoot me. But he doesn't, he just kills him. There we go. Pew, pew, pew. Like that. So that's the end of Professor Dent. Anyway, so because of all this, he's late. He was supposed to meet them a couple of hours earlier. So he's late. So he's going out with Quarrel and Felix Leiter. I nearly said Steve McGarrett again. Sci-Fi Quest says, I always used to lose weight before Christmas, knowing how many dinners I'd have to eat. Are you the Vicar of Dibley? Got to be polite, right? Yes. I've never seen that episode of Vicar of Dibley, but everybody knows about it, don't they? Where she's to eat all the Christmas dinners. Anyway, right, they're heading out in the middle of day for night. It's obviously daytime, innit? But, stuck a filter over the camera lens. There we go. And they've got to go. They're towing a rowing boat. Because they can't go in with the engine anymore. I don't know why. But maybe the Doctor No's got listening devices or whatever. I don't know. But they have to go in a rowing boat. So they send Steve McGarrett back. Sorry, Felix Leiter. They send him back and say, leave it, whatever. Bring the Marines. If you don't hear from me. So there you go. That's what he's saying there. Look. Right, so off they go. Steve McGarrett. Sorry, Felix Leiter heads back. They've got a little sail. So you think they pick up a sail more than a bloody engine boat with an engine? I don't know. Anyway, Sci-Fi Quest says, underneath the mango tree, me honey, and me can watch for the moon. Underneath the mango tree, me honey, and make me bullaloop soon. Bullaloop. Is that the lyrics? See, I want singing it. But we're going to hear it shortly, aren't we? Right, so they arrive at Crab Key. Here it is. Which is in Jamaica. My wife went to Jamaica. Oh no, I've said it wrong, haven't I? My wife went to the Caribbean. Jamaica? No, she went of her own accord. That's it. Anyway, right, this bit is filmed at Dunn's River Falls on the island of Ocho Rios, which were owned by somebody who I can't remember. A woman, owned by a woman who's with a British name. I can't remember her name, but she allowed them to film on her land, and it's all this idyllic tropical island with a waterfall going into the sea and all that. Anyway, this is where we're going to meet what's her face, Honey Rider, in a moment. Well, when the sun comes up. So they've arrived. They're going to have a breather. Right, the sun's up and you can hear somebody singing, and here she comes. There she is. Here she comes out of the water singing Sci-Fi Quest favourite song. But it's not Ursula Andress singing. Some people think it's Diana Coupland singing, but it's not. It's good old Nikki van der Zyl again. Have I said that right? Hang on, I've got it in my notes. Yes, Nikki van der Zyl. As the voice of Honey Rider, because Ursula Andress she's one of the most beautiful women in history, but she's got a horrible voice, hasn't she? Really thick Swiss German accent. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger in a woman's body. But so they obviously it's been dubbed. The wife of John Derrick, the photographer, which is how she got this job, because John Derrick had taken some photos of her. They saw him and thought, wow, we want her. So they got her. So here she is singing. There you go. Mango and me. Does she say Bullaloop? Oh, there we go. Make Bullaloop under the mango tree. There you go. I'm guessing Bullaloop is a synonym for having it off. Anyway, she's there with the shells. Oh, right, James Bond. He starts singing it as well. Apparently they had it on a record. They're to fight over this record player. This is in real life. They're to fight over this record player that had the Mango Tree song. so they could listen to it and learn it. But anyway, I think it was written by Monty Norman, this song as well. I think I could be wrong. Anyway, so he introduces himself, and she's obviously not impressed. Oh, he says, "Are you looking for shells?" "No, I'm just looking." Because he's a sexist pig. Anyway, so he says, "I'm not here to hurt you," etc. Blah blah blah. So we learn that she goes there for shells. Her dad was a thingamabob. Her dad was a shell expert. I forgot the marine biologist. Sci-fi Quest says Nicky van der Zyl, Dana Copeland dubbed. Dana Copeland didn't dub it. A lot of people think she did, but she did the song on the album, the soundtrack album. But in the film, it's Nicky van der Zyl doing the singing in the film. But Diana Copeland, well, you may know from Bless This House, sang the song on the album of the film, the soundtrack album. Anyway, where were we? She says, "Come on, we've got to get out of here," because they can hear a boat coming. And she says, "I can't leave my shells," although she leaves these 2 shells. Maybe they're not valuable, but one of them's worth $50. So anyway, off they go. And then he would get another dubbed voice. And he doesn't sound Jamaican either. It looks like Carl Weathers a bit, but here we go. Are you ready? He's proper Jamaican. It's not.
Okay, Bob. Come on, you won't get hurt.
Come on, you won't get hurt. Jamaican. Oh dear. Come on, you won't get hurt. Who did his voice? I've actually looked it up and I've bloody forgotten. Because it says. I think it says his voice. Voice. I can't bloody find it. Oh, Superintendent Duff was overdubbed as well. Why? By the same fellow that did John Strangways. Oh dear. I can't find it. I saw it earlier on. I looked it up and I saw it earlier on. Where is it? Oh, never mind. Oh no, it doesn't say. It just says the doesn't say who overdubbed him. It just says the name of the who played him. But it is overdubbed anyway, because they don't sound very Jamaican. Anyway, whatever. So, like I said, they know that they're there somewhere, so they're going to start shooting. So they shoot at them. There we go. Like that. And they say, "We'll come back later with the dogs." Right, so off they go. Again with his great voice.
We'll be back. We'll be back with the dogs.
I'll be back with the dogs. Also, that crab don't care less. He don't care. "Bring the dogs, I don't care," that crab says. Anyway, so they're safe. They can come out now. They talk about the dragon again, and Honey Rider says she's seen the dragon. There we go. 2 glaring eyes, a short tail, and pointed wings, and it breathed fire. Anyway, obviously, don't believe them. So they've got to go and suss it all out, and they're heading into this river, which apparently were full of leeches, apparently. But anyway, guards have come back with the dogs, so they're going to hide under the water, breathing through reeds. I'd be frightened of creatures getting in me. And he escapes with little Nelly. Crap, wrong film again. Yeah, that's You Only Live Twice. Little Nelly. "It is a toy helicopter. Take mine, Bonsan." Anyway, so they escape them with the dogs. But there's one fella that's obviously good at his job. Here he comes in a minute. here he comes. He's checking afterwards. You know, he thinks, oh, they're around here somewhere. But Bond's gonna kill him with a knife. But don't leave any blood in the water. He stabbed him. But there's no blood in the water. Never mind. Good job they're in alligators, isn't there? Right, so there you go. The nice wet t-shirt scene, which is always good. There you go. Dragon tracks. Dragon tracks. That's what they say. Everyone always forgets the last guy. Yes. They actually complimented him before they killed him. You know, they said, oh, he obviously knew what he was doing, coming and checking after the rest had gone in case we came out of our hiding places. Obviously, weren't expecting to get stabbed to death. Anyway, so they're gonna have a rest now. There we go. He's gonna take first watch. His quarrel. James will take second watch. So they're talking about stuff. Oh, we're learning that she thinks Dr. No killed her dad because he came looking for shells at Crab Key and she never saw him again. Anyway, she's never been to school, but she's got an encyclopedia. She started on A and she's up to T, so it's obviously a slow read. Unless it's a really big encyclopedia, I don't know. But so don't ask her anything about things beginning with U, V, W, X, Y, or Z, or Z. Anyway. We also learned that she killed a man with a black widow spider. Did you know the Dragon was a modified BM216A tractor? BMT216. No, but I do have a note about it somewhere. Where have I put it? It doesn't say exactly what sort it is, I don't think. But just bear with me. I don't have it in the note. Where have I put it? There we go. James Bond creator Ian Fleming. Oh, that's not about the film, it's about the book. James Bond creator Ian Fleming based the Dragon tank on a marshland swamp utility vehicle with very large wheels, which he had seen in 1956 on the island of Inagua in the Bahamas. So that's in the book. That's what he based it on in the book, not the film. But yes, in the making of, they did say they used a tractor. They didn't say what sort, though. But thank you for that info. So that's not its registration number. BMT 216A. But anyway. Right. She killed a man with a black widow because, you know, he forced himself upon her, basically. So she killed him with a black widow. She said, did I do? She said, it took him a week to die. So did I do wrong? And he says, well, I wouldn't go making a habit of it. Well, you just stabbed a man in cold blood in a river. Whatever. Do you have a woman of your own? She asks. And he's always should like show a flash image of Sylvia Trench and all the other women that he's had. And then he goes, no, obviously not. Actually, I think before he gets a chance to answer, Quarrel interrupts, and then go, the dragons come in, and then suddenly it's night for day or whatever. There's the dragon, breathing its fire in a minute. They're standing out in the open, as you do. But there you go. They start shooting at it, and it starts doing its fire in a minute, and not landing on the bits that's got fire on. But then Quarrel gets killed, gets just burned alive, and it's quite brutal, actually. Is it this bit? Yes, it is this bit. You can see him there, look. Hang on. There he is. Ah! I'm guessing that's just a dummy. I hope it is. It could be a stuntman. I don't know. But poor Quarrel's been burned alive. I wonder what Quarrel Jr. thinks about this. You know, his dad getting killed because of, you know, following James Bond on some damn fool idealistic crusade. Anyway. Obviously, in the books, it's supposed to be the same character that we see in Live and Let Die, as I said earlier on, but never mind. Anyway. Right, so they come out, get up, get your hands up, stick your hands up, you bum, and all that, because they don't sound very... Actually, these are, I'm going to say it, the O word again, Oriental people, Asians, these. So they're arresting them. They take him to the lair of Dr. No. Here we go. So in they come. By the way, they've handcuffed James Bond. They've not handcuffed her because, she's just a woman. They've handcuffed James Bond. So, and we learned that they've got radiation on them. So we're gonna. This is where we do the Austin Powers scene, where they're getting washed and stuff. Here we go. Quick scrub down. There we go. He's saying, "Come on, you've got to get this stuff off me and all that because we're radioactive." Sound like the Alan Partridge and Sean Connery, didn't it? Aha! There you go. Still active. Look, still active. And don't worry, she's not nude because we see in a minute. So they're scrubbing themselves down, getting the radiation off. Look, she's got something on, look, she's not nude. Stupid film. Anyway. Bond's first gun was a Beretta 418. It was replaced with a Wolf PK due to fault with the silencer in from Russia with love. We did this at the beginning. When I didn't say that, I didn't go into that much detail, but I did say that I did go through why they were changing his gun, because his other gun jammed on him, didn't it? Anyway. Yeah, so for the first 5 books, 5 books, he had the Beretta, and he only got his Walther PPK in Doctor No, which was the 6th book in Ian Fleming's series. Right, anyway, so here we go. They're all fine now. They're not radioactive anymore, apart from James Bond's fingernail, so he sticks his hand in a box and then he's fine. Right, so they go through a big door into another cool Ken Adams set. Where was this filmed? Filmed obviously Jamaica, but the stage, Pinewood, obviously Pinewood. D stage at Pinewood. Obviously, this is long before the James Bond stage was built. I was recording my reaction to Doctor Who, so I missed the start. Oh, good. I haven't even watched it. I forgot about it. And I started watching the Fantastic Beasts film on Sky, which I didn't finish watching that either. But I'll catch up to it. Is it good? I don't know. Probably not. But anyway. I grew up near Pinewood. There you go. I've never been. Probably never will. Anyway, so here they go. Right, so they're all being nice to him. And they call themselves, they're supposed to be like nurses because they call themselves sisters. I'm Sister someday or other. There we go. I'm Sister Rose, this is Sister Lily, so they must be like nurses or whatever. So they're going to take them to their quarters, and they've got some coffee and they've got clothes for them and everything. There you go. So they're drinking coffee, and obviously Bond's not, he's not fully up on his game right now because the coffee's drugged. Obviously, didn't think they'd drug him, and they drug, so they both have a good night's sleep. There we go. But somebody comes in. I think this is supposed to be Dr. No, isn't it? Coming in and sneaking about. We're going to see his hands. Yes, it's Dr. No, because he's got metal hands for some reason. I don't know if it says in the book, I don't know. I don't know if it says in the film either, it just says an accident or whatever. Anyway, they walk up now and they're getting dressed, and we get a nice shot of Ursula Andress's back. So they're going for dinner with Dr. No. So off they go. They're all being very nice to him. But anyway, there we go. The elevator into Dr. No's inner sanctum. Right, so we're going to see some fish now in a minute. There we go, some fish there. And the production designer, Ken Adam, said to the editor, I think Peter Hunt, was the editor for this. And it's the editor's job, essentially, to get the footage that is needed for like rear projections, because they knew this scene were coming up. He says, how are you going to do the fish tank? Peter Hunt asked Ken Adam, how are you going to do the fish tank? He said, it's easy, it's just going to be a screen that's got a rear projection on. So because at least he doesn't have a gold member. Maybe he does. Because he's tight. Because he loves gold. Anyway, so there's going to be a rear projection. So, you know, it says, and Peter says, well, when are we filming this scene? It says, day after tomorrow. So it's like 48 hours to find footage for this rear projection thing, because it's up to the editor to find the footage that they need. And they did it, but all they could find were like footage of fish really close to the camera, like big massive looking fish. So they had to explain it away in the script. They added the line in saying that it's thick glass that magnifies what's behind it, and it actually became a bit of a plot point, really, sort of, anyway, because it allowed Bond to have a little dig at Dr. No, saying minnows pretending to be whales or something like that. A little dig at Dr. No. But anyway, so that's that. That's what happened there. And here's Joseph Wiseman as Dr. No. He's been in loads of stuff, but for some reason all I can think of is Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, where he appeared briefly as what bloody name now? The Emperor from the bad guys. What do they call him now? I've forgotten, but he was in that. But it's been loads of other stuff as well, but I'm blanking, obviously. Anyway, here he is as Dr. No, who works for Spectre. We get the first mention of Spectre in this. Are they mutated sea bass? Ill-tempered? Here he is. $1 million it cost. $1 million it cost to make that glass. There you go. Forgive me if it's not shaking hands. It's awkward with these. A misfortune. That's all it says. I think we don't know how he lost the use of his hands, but he's got his robot hands or whatever, with which he can crush things. We learn. There you go. Minnows pretending they're whales, just like you on this island, Dr. No. Prod him it back, shouldn't he? There we go. Medium dry martini, lemon peel, shaken, not stirred. Are you listening, Charles Gray? For you only live twice. When you get it wrong, never mind. Right. So anyway, they're going to sit down to dinner. Apparently, this is a painting. Obviously, not the real one, but the real version of this painting was actually stolen in real life while they were making this film. So it was a topical thing. It's a famous painting. I don't know what it is. So they're trying to make out that Dr. No stole the painting that was really stolen in real life. Anyway, so there we go. I thought that was a Morlock then from Time Machine. Anyway, so here they are having dinner. Where we get some info about Dr. No, that is super brainy. There you go. He became treasurer of the most powerful criminal society in China. I don't know, the Tongs or whatever. I don't know, Triads. I don't know. But then he took their money and went to America and became a nuclear genius. So his base is nuclear powered. Sorry, it's atomic powered, isn't it? It's not nuclear yet, atomic powered. But there we go. There's a hint that he's lost his hands because of his dabbling with atomic energy. So he's a bit like I forgot his name now. In real life, you know, that imam that sort of like lost all his hands and stuff. It was a controversial character from the UK. Making bombs. That's what I'll just say. Or explosives. Bit like that's happened with him, hasn't it? Anyway, so he says, does toppling missiles really, cover, the cost of your hands, loss of your hands? But anyway, whatever. Right, so anyway, a bit of back and forth. Obviously they're going to kill him. By the way, they made Joseph Wiseman as well look as though he were half Chinese by adding prosthetics over his eyelids. Looks more Chinese or Orient, the word, Asian, than Sean Connery did in bloody You only live twice. He looked exactly the same, didn't he? After they'd done all this thing. Eye pieces to other. Or whatever they said. But anyway. Right, so here we go. They take Honey Rider away. He says, I don't want her to get hurt and all that stuff. So they take her away, and he says, maybe the guards will have fun with her. So Bond's going to cause trouble. He's going to smash a bottle of champagne, a 55, whatever. What is it? Does it say? Dom Perignon 55. And Bond said, I prefer the 53 myself. I hate wine. It's horrible. I've got some mulled wine. It's bloody awful. I'll go and have it for me with my Christmas dinner today. I've never had mulled wine, so I warmed it up a little bit in a saucepan, like it says, and put it into a glass and stuff. So warm wine. It's awful. Wine's crap. It is. This is my Star Trek beer. Sci-Fi Quest. There we go. You see, my Star Trek beer that I got for Christmas. Anyway. Right, so they're going to talk like men now. There we go. Just the toppling of American missiles really compensate for having no hands. But, they're going to... I don't know what his plan is, to be honest. He's just going to topple American missiles to show that the West is decadent, blah, blah, blah. The East is just as bad. It doesn't work for either of them. He offered his services, apparently, to both East and West, and they turned him down. So now he works for Spectre. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. The Special Executive for Counterintelligence, Terrorism, Revenge and Extortion. But anyway... So I'd probably ask for $1 billion or whatever. Right. So anyway, he's showing that he can crush you just like that. That's what he's showing there. Anyway, so there you go. So get him out of here and beat him up, because he says, soften him up. So they just shows shots of him beating him up. There we go. Beating him up. And then he's in a cell. And now he's going to escape. He's in a little cell. And there's obviously this grate here is electrified, but only if you touch it once. There you go. He touches it and gets an electric shock. But obviously it's just doing that shorts it out, it seems, because then he can get through. And whatever. Maybe they think, oh, well, they won't do it again. If they touch it, they get electric shock. I mean, they won't touch it again, even though it's shorted out. Anyway, whatever. He climbs in and goes crawling through the ductwork, John McClane style. Here he is. Jumps down here. I think we see a stuntman here in a minute. I might be wrong. No, that's Sean, isn't it? But we see somebody fall. No, that's not Sean Connery, is it? That looks more like bloody, I don't know, Marky Mark. Mark Wahlberg, doesn't it? I know it's not. It's probably Bob Simmons again. I don't know what he looks like. Anyway, so he falls there. But he's fine. And then he hears a noise. Oh, and by the way, the walls or the tube or whatever it is in the pipe is hot to the touch. There you go. Oh, that's hot. So it's to take his top off and cover his hands. But then all hot water comes. Well, I don't know if it's hot, but water comes. You can hear it. And I'm like, what if it's like boiling water that's just come out of reactors or something like that? Or it could be bloody waste material. It could be like acid, whatever. But luckily, it's not. It's just water, just blushing over him. He's fine. Not melted his skin off or boiled him alive, thankfully. Good job he didn't have his toupee on there, isn't it? That'd have been washed away. Anyway, so down he goes. There we go. Hopefully this grate's not electrified. Is it grey water? Is that what they use for atomic plants, nuclear plants? It's not heavy water, is it? Whatever. Or is grey water what's in sewers? That's sewer water, isn't it? Grey water. They mention it in it, don't they? Got we in it, basically. Anyway, right. Oh, I've done that again. There we go. So is it another grate? Hopefully this one's not electrified. It doesn't seem to be. So out he comes. There we go. Hello, I've just escaped from the prison cells. Thankfully nobody's about. Apart from one fellow who's going to get in a minute. Look, I'll just hide there. Oh, by the way, make sure we're still going, aren't we? Yes, we are. Still going on YouTube. We're still going on Rumble. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Yes, we are. Rumble were doing so well. It were doing so well. Last time I did this live stream, we're doing so well keeping up, with live stream. But it's all gone to pot again. Yeah, and we're still going on Twitch. Right. Anyway, sewer water. Yes, sewer water. With wee and poo in it. And stuff. Anyway, so he throttles this fella, takes his radiation suit and heads into the lair. Obviously, a Ken Adams set. The Bond villain's evil lair, and they're getting ready because they're watching the what's going to be the missile launch. So they're just wandering about, basically. There we see Dr. No in his radiation suit, but then we can see the other fella that's in the suit that Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, takes the mickey out of. There he is. When he tries to sit down on that chair in Austin Powers and just slides off it. It's like that, isn't it? That would mine would be like, but not because it's full of air, just because it'd be full of my farts. But anyway, how's Twitch going? I don't know, it's fine, isn't it? I don't know. A lot of people be saying it's gone rubbish, but it's always been rubbish for me anyway. I don't even know why I do Twitch. Genuinely don't know why I do Twitch. There's no bugger watches them. Anyway, this fella's doing a big thing. Danger level, look, it says there. Reactors on. Big labels on. So it's like Thunderbirds, is this? Isn't it got big labels for stuff? There we see the nuclear rods down in the water. There we go. I don't know if they're using nuclear power. It must be for the beam that they're firing at the missiles. But there we go. They've got control interlocks, thermal converters, and radiation something or others. Control or whatever, I don't know. Radiation control and energy stabilizers, and the trajectory computers labelled as well. It's also like the Batcave. Everything's labelled. Trajectory bat computer. Does he have a name tag? He has no chance. Doesn't look like it, does it? Right, so they're getting ready to topple this other missile, but he's just going to go over and just start turning things and putting the spanner in the works. Here we go. Just going to start turning this and fighting this other fella in a minute when he's ready. Here comes the here it comes up out of the there we go. John Steers, by the way. Oh, where's the back button? John Steers were given no time and £1,000 to build the model version of Dr. No's lair. Crab Key. Because obviously it's got to blow up at the end, so he had to build a model version of it, and £1,000, that's all he had to spend. Anyway, right, they're getting ready to do that. Right. So here we go, he's going to start turning that. There we go. So they get the danger level high. G-19 seconds and counting. But anyway, so they're fighting. Oh no, danger level's on. We're in the danger zone. And it's all going to go wrong and start blowing up. The missile launchers without incident, thank goodness. But they're all fighting. Look, Dr. No's fighting James Bond. Everybody else is running off. But they're going to fall onto this weird elevator thing that's got the nuclear rods in, and Dr. No's going to end up in the water, and he can't get out because he's like the Borg Queen in a minute. There you go. He's like the Borg Queen. He can't get out, look. Remember, she couldn't get up. She was clawing on Jean-Luc Picard. See? No chance. And there he is. His metal hands are his doom. His doom. So down he goes. So that's the end of Doctor No. We presume we don't actually see him die, do we? He could return at some point. Doctor No will return, maybe, probably not. Anyway, it's all going to start blowing up in a minute. So does that mean this whole island is it going to be like the Jamaican Chernobyl? I imagine so. Anyway, so it's all going to start blowing up. They're all running. Saying, where's the girl? He says, where's the girl that I brought with me? And he finds her. She's tied up into the unnecessarily slow dipping mechanism. Oh, I don't know. They were just going to wait for the tide to come in or something. I don't know. They just tied her to that. We're just going to slowly fill up. Whatever. But he gets her out. And they go running for their lives. People are leaping into the water. Anyway, they get onto a boat. There it is. Gets rid of the fellas that's there already. Then it starts blowing up. Yay! Boom! Good old John Steers. Special effects. That's it. Up it goes, sending a radioactive cloud all over the Caribbean. I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, so they're floating in the middle of the Caribbean. So there's a big thing there, something, I don't know. They've run out of petrol, but luckily Felix Leiter arrives with some British Coast Guard, I don't know, but they're all piled on that boat, aren't they? It's like one of these boats comes across channel, isn't it? Anyway, so they're gonna, there we go. They're gonna say, give us a tow, and she's saying, ha ha, look, I'm a sexy lady, and they're all saying, oh, look, a sexy lady, yeah, have a rope. So they're going to tow him into shore, and he's just holding the rope. He don't tie it up or anything. You think he'd know he's a sailor, isn't he? Commander Bond. But he's just holding on to it. So they're going to snog, and then he's going to let go. There we go. Just lets go of the rope, and they're released. So they're still stuck in the Caribbean. But, you know, maybe he'll find some sea turtles and fashion rope from his back hair for him to escape. But anyway, there we go. It's the end. So he's now shagging Ursula Andress in the Caribbean, and you know, you can't end the film better than that, can you? And then the film just ends. We don't have like massive credits like we do now. It just comes on. Who's in it? That's who's in it, and that's your lot. There you go. And then I think it goes on to the restoration bit, yes, because this is from the Blu-ray release. So there we go. That's the end of Doctor No. Cool film, but all the James Bond films are cool. And but like I said, this was the very first, so it's kind of an experiment. But it is, you know, a lot of fun. It's a simple story compared to the others. There's no globe trotting in this. It's either in London or it's in Jamaica, and that's it. It's not like going to all these different places. Have a good Doctor No. It's got Kenneth Williams to play him, shouldn't they? No, James Bond. Anyway, so there we go. That's the end. Obviously, they didn't know if we were going to be back, so there's no James Bond will return in From Russia with Love or whatever they were going to do next. I don't know if they decided now that they're going to do From Russia with Love next. I don't know, but anyway. So, right. Anyway, so obviously the trouble with Spectre for this film, or Kevin McClory and all them, because I think Thunderball came out, he wrote Thunderball after this film, because he put Ursula Andress in the book Thunderball, because it was that taken with her, with Ian Fleming. He's actually in it, you know, as described. Trace, you know, Teresa Tracy, who James Bond marries in. Is it that? No, I'm thinking. No, that's on the Majesty's Secret Service, isn't it? See, I'm getting confused now. So no, somebody in Thunderball. I'm sure it said Trace. No, hang on. Let me check my notes. Have I got it in my notes? Probably not, knowing me. By the way, owing to the limited wardrobe budget, Lois Maxwell wore her own clothes as Miss Moneypenny, as did other actors in similarly small parts. And in 2019, Cary Grant's daughter, Jennifer Grant, revealed that her father, Cary Grant, obviously, later regretted turning down the role of Bond. Yes, they wanted... could be the Broccolis wanted Cary Grant to be James Bond because they were friends, friends of the family and all that. But he said no. So you can imagine Cary Grant as James Bond. I can't do a Cary Grant impression, unfortunately. I can't do any impressions, but especially a Cary Grant one. My name is Bond, James Bond. No, that's Cary Grant. Anyway, whatever. Right, what were we talking about? I've forgotten. Ursula Andress, yes, it's not in my notes. I forgot to highlight it in my notes. See if I can find it. Hang on, type in. Right, hang on. Control F. I'll Control F the bugger. Control F. Ursula. They're probably about loads. There we go. Yes, Ian Fleming. Hang on, never mind that. No, but that's on the Majesty's Secret Service. It says here, in the novel on the Majesty's Secret Service, Bond was revealed to have Scottish ancestry, and Bond's girlfriend Teresa, Tracy Vincenzo, was described with Ursula Andress's details. But no, in Thunderball, though, it does use Ursula Andress's name to describe somebody. Saying she looked like Ursula Andress. Of course, Ian Fleming was smitten with her, and, you can't blame him, can you? What are my other notes have I got? Honey Rider's voices, Nicky van der Zyl and Diana Coupland on the album, not the movie. Sean Connery didn't wear a toupee for this. It's not Sean Connery in the gun barrel until Thunderball. It's Bob Simmons until then. The background plates. Ian Fleming didn't like the film. I've said that one, haven't I? Harry Saltzman and Albert R. Broccoli, the original producers of the James Bond movies, cast Sean Connery because they liked how he was a big, tough-looking man who nonetheless moved gracefully like a cat. I think it was like a panther, how they described him originally, wasn't they? Moved like a panther. Ian Fleming didn't like Sean Connery's casting. Because obviously Sean Connery's from a working class background, and they thought he looked a bit, rough. He's described, they do describe him as like a diamond in the rough. But Ian Fleming, being a bit of a snob, an upper class toff, himself, wanted James Bond to be like from that stock, didn't he? Like upper class, lower upper class, whatever, you know what I mean? Like he was. Public school educated and all that crap. Public school is what the British call, what Americans call private schools. For some reason, public schools are private schools in the UK. It's weird. And public schools are state schools. If you know what I mean. Right, said that about MI7. The original dub, M says is put in charge of MI7, but they've overdubbed it now. And in the subtitles it says MI6. I don't know about in the book. I don't know. Is it MI6 in the book? Does it say? I don't know because I've not read the books, so I don't know. Or was it just? I would just thought the British Secret Service. Why can't they just leave it at that? Anyway, Sean Connery was so nervous during filming that he said Sean Connery, according to Eunice Gayson, who played Sylvia Trench. While filming the scene, why did he call her Sylvia Trench? What a terrible name! It's a bloody awful name, Sylvia Trench. It's not sexy, is it? You've got like Pussy Galore and Honey Rider, Sylvia Trench. Call her something sexy, for Christ's sake. Sylvia Trench was supposed to be Bond's girlfriend for 6 films. That's what they were going to contract her for, but she ended up just doing 2, didn't she? Anyway, Where were we? While filming the scene where Bond introduces himself to her, he kept fluffing the now famous line by giving his real name. He came out with other permutations like Sean Bond and James Connery. The director, Sir Terence Young, what is Sir Terence Young? I don't know, told Gayson to take him away for a drink or two to calm his nerves. So there we go. Ian Fleming wanted his cousin, I said this earlier, wanted his cousin Sir Christopher Lee to play the role of Dr. No. Lee appeared as Francisco Scaramanga in the Bond movie The Man with the Golden Gun, 1974, and also played Dr. Fu Manchu in the Hammer films. They were in Hammer films, weren't they? The character, I never knew, was he a doctor? Fu Manchu, I just know him as Fu Manchu. Anyway, whatever. The character that inspired Fleming to create Dr. No. Fleming also asked Noel Coward to play the part of Dr. No. Coward turned down the part by replying with a telegram that read, Dr. No, 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 no. What a hoot. One of Coward's objections was having to wear metal hands. Max von Sydow turned down the part in order to play Jesus Christ in The Greatest Story Ever Told, 1965. Well, that was 3 years later. And would finally play a Bond villain in Never Say Never Again. Yes, he played Blofeld in Never Say Never Again, but that's not an official Bond film, is it? Really. The role went to Joseph Wiseman, the only early Bond villain not to have his voice dubbed by another actor. Yes. Because in the... oh, God. Who was the baddie in the second one? I don't know. It was Robert Shaw, wasn't it? Well, he was like a henchman, though, wasn't it? Oh, the main baddie from Russia With Love. I can't remember. We had Walter Gottel, didn't we? Her that plays... I forgot her name now. Hang on, let me type it in. From Russia With Love. 1963 film. See, they rattled these films out in no time. Oh, excuse me. Right, who's the baddie in this? Rosa Klebb. I don't know if she was overdubbed, the actress that played Rosa Klebb. I think we hear, we don't see Blofeld. We don't see Blofeld until his face, until You Only Live Twice, when he's Donald Pleasance, isn't he? But we see his cat and stuff like that, and we hear his voice, don't we? But I don't know who the main baddie was. Walter Gottel played Morzeni, a Spectre thug, but Walter Gottel, I'm probably mispronouncing that, would go on to play General Gogol, wouldn't he? In the later Bond, in the 70s Bond films. What about the unofficial first ever Bond movie? I mean, unofficial Bond film, not the first. You mean Casino Royale? That TV one, I mentioned this at the beginning as well. There a TV version of Casino Royale, wasn't there, before this? And there a radio version as well with Bob Holness. I'll have a pee, Bob. But then there were the Casino Royale in 1967, wasn't there, that comedy version of it with David Niven as James Bond and Woody Allen and rubbish in it. I think Ursula Andress is in that as well, isn't she? I think. I've only seen it once. I didn't like it. But then there were Never Say Never Again, which, like I said, was just a remake of Thunderball because it was Kevin McClory and all that, wasn't it? Anyway, we're going through my notes, wasn't I, before I sign off. I did that about the gun and Boothroyd and all that stuff. 1967 Casino Royale quote. I bet this doesn't happen to the other guy. I don't know. I didn't say. What's his face said it in on the Majesty's Secret Service, didn't he? Oh God, I can never remember names when I'm on bloody camera. I'm gonna have to look him up. I can't bloody remember. Right. George Lazenby, of course. George Lazenby says it, doesn't he, on Majesty's Secret Service. When she rebuffs him, she drives away and says, "That's never happened to the other fella." Or the other, I think it says the other fella, doesn't it? Looks into camera and says it. It's like breaks the fourth wall, doesn't he? Sorry, was never happens to the other guy. Yeah, but that was on the Majesty's Secret Service in 1969. Right, back to my notes. Where were we? Did that one. In the source novel, the full names of Honey Rider and Dr. No are Honey Child Rider, with an I. In the film, she's got a Y in Rider. And Dr. Julius No. Honey Child is the last surviving member of an old sugar plantation family and was raised by the family servants. This is in the book. The freelance photographer is named Annabelle Chung. We never find out a name in the film. Oh, pardon me. And I mentioned this. Puss fella's name means he wrestled an octopus, but this movie changed this to an alligator, rendering the name meaningless. Pardon me. The professor was not named Dent, and he was not a villain. Strangways and Quarrel were old friends of Bond from the Live and Let Die novel, yes, which came out before Dr. No, but the film came out after, so they had to have Quarrel Jr. in the film. There was no evil chauffeur and no Felix Leiter. The latter was in other novels. And that's it for my notes. I've covered everything else. John Steers had £1,000 to spend on Dr. No's fortress, blowing it up and all that stuff. Right, so we're done. We will leave it there. Cool film. If you haven't seen Dr. No or any other Bond film, where have you been? Everybody's seen them at least once. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there. If you're watching live, like Sci-Fi Quest is, and hopefully Justin34 still knocking about, we'll be back on Friday. Oh, where have I put it? It's down here somewhere. Just a minute. Where is it? There it is. Whew. Ah. Things are falling over. We'll be back on Friday for Friday Night Appointment with Fear, where we're doing Jack Frost, not the Michael Keaton one, the comedy horror with Scott McDonald as Jack Frost, Killer Snowman. It's fun, and it's on YouTube. You can watch it for free on YouTube, but I won't just play it because you know what I am. And next Monday, for Magnificent Mondays, I think it's next Monday, we're doing Clash of the Titans, the original 1981 version, so that should be fun. And then on New Year's Day, just a minute here, we're going to be looking at the second James Bond film, From Russia with Love. So there we go. So that's what's coming up. Right, so Quest says, great stream, see you Friday. Are you doing a New Year live? Yes, I've just said. I just said that. We're doing another James Bond film for New Year's Day. Right, so I'm going to go and watch Doctor Who now, or start watching it. I might not get all the way through. We will see. But I'm going to have to watch it on the iPlayer because I forgot about it on telly. So I'm going to go watch that now and finish off my Star Trek beer, which is not too bad. I'm hoping it's synthahol and the intoxicating effects can be easily dismissed. As we're told. Right, so we're going now. So, thanks Sci-Fi Quest and thanks Justin34. I think that's all we've had pop in, haven't we? Everybody else is off celebrating Christmas like they should be. So, I hope you have a very merry rest of your Christmas. Everybody out there. The billions watching at home. So, thanks for watching. Again, Merry Christmas. And until next time, I'll say there.